In today's golden age of misinformation, there's a whole lot of fake news. You've heard about it in the media, you've heard about it online. And what I want to do today is I want to talk to you a little bit about fake news and give you some good things, little tips that you can use to look at something and determine whether or not it's fake. The first thing that you need to know is there are really two types of fake news. There's the first that is completely not true. And usually these are designed to get you to buy a product or to take you to a certain website. The second is news, and this is probably the most prevalent, but the second is news that is not 100% true. In this crazy day of politics, sometimes it's, things like a politician went to a conference and that will be the truth. And the fake news will be basically the position that that politician took on whatever the matter was. But there are some very easy things that you can do to determine whether something is fake or not. Fake news is not new. It's been around for a long time. But what is new is how easy it is to share this information on a massive scale. Social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn allow anybody, just about anybody, to share information and then to publish it to the world. The trouble is that most people don't check the source of the information that they find online before they share it or share it with their friends. And that's how all of this fake news ends up going viral. At the same time, it's becoming harder and harder to identify sources of information on the internet. And that's one of the problems with identifying fake news. If you remember, not all fake news is actually found online. I remember those gossipy water cooler conversations when I used to work in an office. Some were true, some were fake. I'm going to give you 6 ways to spot fake news. Check the source. If you are looking at a page and seeing news and trying to determine if it's fake or not, check the URL at the top. That's that menu bar. Make sure it's actually coming from a place that you recognize and coming from a reputable source. And look very carefully, because these fake news pages can mimic something that you already know, but if you look carefully, you'll see some different letters at the end of the URL that you certainly don't expect to see there. Number 2. Check the author. Do a quick search on the author. Are they real? Are they credible? And check the date. Reposting old stories doesn't mean that they're relevant in current events. Number 3, see who else is reporting this. Go to a reputable source like the New York Times, the CBC, some source that you trust, and see if it's being reported there. Now, also remember that these people are so feisty and so slippery that they can make a web page look like it came from the New York Times or CNN. So once again, check the address bar, make sure that you're on the right page, and see if somebody else is reporting that news. It gives you a much better idea of whether or not it's fake or not. Number 4, examine the evidence. Does it have Number 4, examine the evidence. Does it have a lot of data in it? Does it have statistics? Does it have quotes from experts? Are these quotes plausible? Because most articles that have opinions and facts also have the statistics to back it up. So be very careful. Check. Number 5, look for fake images. Today's world, there's a lot of photo editing goes on, but there are some things that you can look for that are going to tell you if the images are fake or not. Look for shadows and jagged edges around the side of the image. There's also a Google product called Google Reverse Image that you can use to see if the image is correct or not. But have a critical eye. Look very, very carefully at the details. Number 6, check that it sounds right. I've said before in prior videos, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it probably is. Some of these stories are just so outrageous, but then some are plausible. I used to have the saying that I used to tell to my daughters all the time. If that story was true, it would be on the front page of the New York Times. So check it. Use your critical thinking. See if it sounds right to you. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If it's written in a way that is designed to persuade you to believe something or persuade you to go somewhere, it's probably fake news. So be very careful. What I want you to remember about fake news, it's designed to do a couple of things. First of all, a lot of the fake news is designed to get you to a certain place, because the people that are producing this also want to make money. Every single click represents income to them. The other type of fake news is to persuade you that something exists that doesn't. In this day of this political turmoil, it's very, very difficult sometimes to know what's fake and what's not. But baby boomers are smart. Use your critical thinking. And remember, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Be senior smart. Use those wonderful years of experience that you have and use your critical thinking to figure out what's fake and what's not. The perpetrators are getting to be so slick about things that it's really disheartening. What I'm hoping is that I've given you a few guidelines, a little bit more education, so that you, when you look at these news stories and you look at these fake news stories, you can determine if they seem real or not. Be senior smart and see you in cyberspace.